What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Colin Beazley here in Pittsburgh. I wanted to talk about something a little bit interesting that came out of yesterday's media availability. I wanted to talk about Tommy Pham, and I think that he's a very interesting subject for a multitude of reasons. But before we get into talking about our friend Tommy Pham, I wanted to make sure to remind you guys that if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. And don't forget to read and subscribe to the Post-Gazette. We have coverage of all Pittsburgh sports. We have coverage of the Pirates, of course, Steelers, Penguins, Pitt football, high schools, all that, but also a whole bunch of non-sports content. So I highly, highly recommend getting yourself a Post-Gazette subscription and reading all of our work online or reading it in print. We print Thursdays and Sundays. And we, as I mentioned before, we cover all of Pittsburgh sports, including the Pirates, home and away. Noah Hiles is currently in Milwaukee prepping for this 3-game series against the Brewers. So usually in this spot, we do a series preview and talk about the upcoming series, but we thought that this would be more interesting to talk about Tommy Pham and what we found out yesterday and how he performed yesterday, and just kind of give some thoughts on a player that has, frankly, divided a lot of opinions. Or not even divided opinions. He's been someone that's been almost universally criticized for his play with the Pirates this year. To catch you guys up, yesterday he had by far his best game of the season. In an 8-3 win over the Texas Rangers, the Pirates avoided a sweep. Tommy Pham went 3 for 3. He had 3 RBIs. He had 2 doubles. He had a sacrifice fly. I believe he scored a run as well. It was by far his best performance as a Pirate. He had a smoked double to the left center gap. He had a double that went down the right field line, and it was harder contact than we'd seen out of Pham in a while. And even that opposite field double that happened, I believe, in the 7th inning, that was something that hasn't really fallen for the Pirates this year, and certainly hasn't fallen for Pham. Tommy Pham the reason it came as a surprise is because of how much he has struggled. Because up to this point, his stats after going 3 for 3 yesterday, he's hitting just .209. He's got a .289 on base percentage, .247 slugging percentage. He has 33 hits on the season, just 6 doubles, and of course 2 came yesterday. 0 triples, 0 homers, and yesterday were his first extra base hits since, I believe, April 25th. That was a series in Los Angeles. So it's been a long time, and he has struggled. He has not performed the way that you want out of an offseason acquisition, let alone someone you're paying $4 or $5 million to. But what was interesting is what happened when we talked to Tommy Pham after the game. And Tommy Pham, for the first time at length, spoke about some visual issues he's had this year. To give you some background, he's a player who has struggled with something called keratoconus. That's a fancy word, but basically it's a visual disease. It comes with a thin cornea, and I hadn't heard of it before reading about it today. And the way it was described in a Bleacher Report article about Tommy Pham in 2018 from legendary baseball reporter Scott Miller, who actually passed away a couple of days ago. May he rest in peace, legend of our industry. But he talked to a doctor named Dr. Brian Boxer-Wackler, and this doctor described keratoconus as, imagine your car windshield bulging out and getting all of these distortions. Keratoconus can be like being in a fun house, but it's not a lot of fun. Basically saying that what you see, just regular vision, it's blurred, it's distorted, and it comes from a thin cornea, and it changes over time. So Tommy Pham having this is something that's not new at all. He had surgery for it in 2011, and it's something he's managed throughout his 10-year baseball career. He managed it in the minor leagues. He managed it well enough to become a serviceable MLB player for a long time, even hitting .248 last year with .305 on base percentage and .368 slugging. So it's not as if this is a new thing. This is something that he's dealt with and something that he's played with throughout his entire major league career. But for whatever reason, this year, it hasn't worked out for Tommy Pham. He's said that he's had some visual issues. And he said yesterday when asked about his struggles, quote, "I think it was all visual for me. My prescription's been off. I've been adjusting on the fly." So it's something that you have surgery for keratoconus, but it's not something that's fixed automatically. It's something that you have to have prescriptions, you have to have contact lenses, and it's something that kind of shifts as time goes on and the cornea continues to weaken. It's something it's a complicated thing that he's had to adjust. He said again yesterday, "My contact situation's been real complicated, but he believes we're headed in the right direction finally." So he was asked, "Is this a change that he's made recently?" And he said this was probably the most interesting answer of the entire availability. He said, "I've been making changes weekly." He put emphasis on the weekly. It's something that he's managed and he's been trying to figure out for the entirety of the season. And he believes that he's headed in the right direction, which would obviously be a boost. He hit 170 in April and March. He hit 293 in May. He hit 217 in June, but he has been better of late, especially with his game yesterday. So he's hoping it would be better. He's hoping that it'll continue to make a difference and that these visual issues are behind him. But honestly, it's something that you don't really know whether it will work out or not. He had a good game yesterday. He had a lot of bad games before that. So whether or not this is a turning point or something like that, that's certainly something he's watching and something that he's hoping for. Got a little bit more to say, but first I want to break for a quick ad for our friends at Greenwald Roofing.
Hey, Pittsburgh. When you think of great roofs, you think Greenwald Roofing Company. With over 20 years experience, Greenwald knows your roof is your home's first line of defense from rain, wind, snow, and ice. That's why Greenwald Roofing's standard for perfection is so important. You can trust that their team of experienced installers will treat your property like it's their own. When it comes to roof replacements, Greenwald Roofing is Pittsburgh's only choice. Visit greenwaldroofing.com today or call 412-314-8882 to schedule your free estimate. PA contractor number 36262.
So probably the biggest question here is, does this mean that Tommy Pham is back to being the player that he's been before and that he's going to be a serviceable left fielder for the Pirates and he's going to take them to greater heights or anything like that? That's not really what I'm saying here. That's something that we'll find out more in the coming weeks. We'll find out more in this 3-game series in Milwaukee. But in no way am I saying that this is Tommy Pham. He's going to become a good left fielder for the Pirates or anything like that. It's interesting that he's talking about it, that he's saying keratoconus is something he's struggling with, especially more this year. But at the same time, it's something that this tweak could be something that helps him for the rest of the season, or it could be like other tweaks he's made and he happened to go 3 for 3 yesterday. It's something that you can't 100% be confident that it'll fix. For me personally, given where the Pirates are this season, I'd rather see the Pirates play someone who's younger and develop someone, whether that's Alexander Canario, whether that's a Jack Sawinski, whether that's trying someone else entirely. Tommy Pham has played in 48 games this year, and he hasn't been very good. Obviously, he's saying some of that is his vision, and I believe him if considering this disease he's dealing with. But at the same time, I don't necessarily know what this means going forward or whether this will lead to positive outcomes. However, I do think it's very interesting that he's bringing it up, and it is something that clearly he's dealing with and hasn't been having fun with. So it's good to see that he's feeling better about it. Whether that actually means better results, we'll find out a lot in this 3-game series in Milwaukee. Noah Hiles will be there to cover it. His plane actually just touched down. So 3 games with the Brewers coming up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He'll have you covered, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.